Welcome to another episode of Drinking After Dark, a podcast where we discuss random topics while having a few drinks. I'm your host, Darius, and as always, drink responsibly. And y'all make sure y'all follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to Drinking After Dark podcast YouTube channel. Tonight, it's very hot outside, man, so I just got me a brisk iced tea, strawberry melon. So that's what I'm drinking on tonight. I hope everybody's been doing good, man, keeping cool. Just we heading into the summer, so stay cool, stay hydrated. Um, and, just be safe overall. All right. Um, Something I want to talk about. I was gonna wait till after this was over, but I got to talk about it right now. The NBA Finals is going on right now. They've already played four games. The Knicks are up 3-1. So if they win game five, they will be the NBA champions first time in over 50 years. Uh, but we gotta let's talk about the series so far. It's been a great series so far. A lot of drama, big time baskets, big time plays. Um, a lot of back and forth. You have that like that old school basketball type of uh feel to it. Physical. The referees are allowing them to play a lot more so than in the regular season. And you seeing guys, guys stepping up to the plate, and you also see, just the overall energy in San Antonio and in New York. So this has been a great series so far. Let's talk about let's start talking about the Knicks. We all know the Knicks fans, one of the best, well, just New York in general. Um, One of the best fan bases out there. When you talking about New York, you also have Chicago you could put out there. One of the best fan bases out there. Who else has a great fan base? We're talking city-wise. LA, LA has a great fan base. Um, you could throw Houston in there. Um, there's some other place. Miami is another one. So, they have, there's great fan bases out there, Philly. So they're out there, the Knicks fans, they're excited. And also the Spurs fans, they're excited too. First time in a while that the Spurs met in the finals, and we all know um the Knicks, it's been a while since they've been in the finals. The last time these two teams met in the finals was 1999, which was the Spurs' first championship against the Knicks. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, um, Sean Elliott, Avery Johnson, and going against Latrell Sprewell, LJ. Who else do you have in there? Marcus Camby. Uh, was Patrick Ewing a part of that club? Allen Houston. Trying to remember. Was Char Well, last time these two teams met was in 1999 in the NBA Finals for the championship, which the Spurs won. Um, with the Knicks, uh, let's start talking about them. They're up 3-1 in the series. They have came back in every game, all four games down double digits, and out of the pretty much out of the every game has came down to the last 2 minutes. All right. Which, um, except for game three, they have executed down the stretch. Um, I don't think it's an accident they up 3-1. It could be the other way around. The Spurs could have been up 3-1, but we'll talk about them in a sec. I just like how the Knicks play. I like how the Knicks play. Now, I wish um, Carl Anthony Towns, one, stay out of foul trouble, and two, really dominate this game. He had, one game I felt like he really made his presence felt, but the last two games, not so much. And he's battling. I don't know what it is about these bigs today when they have a smaller guy on them. They they don't really dominate in the low post. But um last game he was in foul trouble, had to sit down, all of that. But OG Anunoby, man, let me tell you something. This guy, he to me, he is the Knicks' most complete player. All right, what he can do defensively and what he can do offensively. And after 4 games, if you had to say, ask me who will be the front runner for Finals MVP, it will be him. I know a lot of people would say Jalen Brunson, but to me, OG Anunoby, to me, is the front runner for the MVP if the Knicks go on to win the championship. Um, the shots that he made, the defensive plays he made, if y'all went back and watched game four, the not only the 3-point shots, but the tip in, the go ahead tip in to put them up by one. Um, which I mean, listen, great athletic ability. If you see, it looked like his whole arm was above the rim, right? Great play, and they came back from 29 down to beat the Spurs in Game 4 to take a 3-1 lead. But I will also say about this, the Knicks going to have to stop putting themselves in that position. Every game I don't know what it is to the start of every game in these finals, but they have been down by double digits. The Spurs come out more energy, um, executing on both ends of the court, and I don't know what it is. I cannot explain it why they come out the way they do, but you could get away with it if it's not so much of it, with the inexperienced team like the Spurs, which is also the for the Knicks team, their first finals too. This particular group, their first finals. So I, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I would say this: Brunson. You know, you look at the numbers, it could be a little misleading, but I would say this: Game 4, yes, that's the Brunson that people knows. All right. Um, First half for the whole Knicks team, it was just terrible to watch them play. I mean, the Spurs was getting anything and everything that they wanted. All right. But one thing about the Knicks, they will come back. So no lead is safe against the Knicks. We saw it in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were down 28 to the Cavaliers in the first game of the conference finals. They came back and won that game, and then they went on ahead and basically just they just got the Cavaliers up out of here. The Knicks, they don't panic. When they're down. But they know they could come back. Now, that doesn't mean you should do that every game. No, you should not want to play from behind every game. But they don't panic. They don't panic. They just keep playing, stick to their game plan, and they're going to execute down the stretch. And you see the result of it. They're up 3-1. Um, for the Knicks fans, I know they're excited. Still got to finish it out. I'm not going to say game 5 will be easy. I expect the Spurs to win game 5. I'm not sure about them winning game 6. I think it will be over in 6. Um, I think the Knicks will win it in 6 at this point because I feel like, to me personally, I feel like the Knicks won the series with that big comeback win in game 4. Um, so yeah, I you can't never count out this Knicks team. They're going to keep playing. They're going to keep fighting. And you see what's going on in this particular series. Now let's jump over to the San Antonio Spurs. They got Wemby, Castle, Harper, Fox, young coach, young team. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna say this right now about the this Spurs team. If you lose this series, again, the series is not over yet. Okay. It's the first team to 4 wins. For most of us, it's almost like a foregone conclusion. Okay. But we've seen them once before. That doesn't mean it can't happen again. All right. They just have to take it game by game. But even with that, with the fast starts they get, they can't sustain it. Um, you look at game one, they came out ready to play. I feel like the Knicks, with all that time off, they were, rusty and stuff like that, but they came back, beat the uh beat the Spurs. Same thing. They came back and beat the Spurs, but in game two, they stole that game. I don't know what it is about big moments in this series, but the Spurs, you could tell the youth, right, is playing into what's going on the court. Also the IQ, right? Not only from the players, but also from the coach. We'll get to that in a second. Um, oh, about to mess up my camera. But either way, either way, the turnovers, um, bad turnovers. This is pretty much the story of the series. Not executing, bad turnovers, bad decisions is the reason why the Spurs are down in this series, on the verge of being eliminated. All right, let's talk about game four. We gotta talk about game four because that's the game everybody's talking about, and I want to talk about it. Game four started off like every game in this series. The Spurs came out hot, but usually in the other games, the Knicks came back in the second quarter, either took the lead or you know got it close, got it down. But the Spurs dominated the entire first half. Dominated the entire first half. The Knicks, nobody know what was going on. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, okay, it's pretty much over, right? I know the Knicks they're gonna fight back, trying to make it a game. Um, but what happened in that third quarter? The Knicks came out as the desperate team. The Knicks played their game. The Spurs kept jacking up threes. Not really guarding their man, letting the players get to their spots, beat them to the rebounds, um, and turnovers. Turnovers is a big thing with this team, and especially late in that third quarter, look in the fourth quarter. This is why, when people talking about, oh, this is positionless basketball, this is the reason why you need to have positions, right? De'Aaron Fox is your one point guard that you have on the team. What is he doing? What is he doing? Yeah, he's a veteran, but this is only second playoffs. The first time he was in the playoffs, he was out of there in the first round. Okay. That was years ago. When it came to this, just throwing the ball to whoever, not looking, um, a couple of times, bad passes, um, just shooting jumpers. I don't know what was going on in his mind. but De'Aaron Fox decision making was so bad, especially in that second half. Now let's get to the coach, Mitch Johnson. Let's get to the coach. He's a young coach. He's one of the best young coaches in the league. But dude, you got to read the game. You got to read it. The Knicks are on a 20-4 run before you call the timeout. Listen, I get it. Everybody want to be like Phil Jackson, have their players figure it out. But in order to have that, you have to know your players. Your players are looking for answers, and they're looking for you for guidance, pretty much. And they're tired on top of that. You know why they tired? Because they allowed the Knicks team to come back. When in all actuality, if you kept just keep attacking them, I don't understand this thing today where one team is going to continue to jack up threes. Yeah, you were knocking them down in the first half, but if you went cold in the second half, now you got to switch it up. You're not attacking the basket. As much as I love Wemby, Wemby is not strong enough to be in the post. He cannot handle that type of physicality down low. As a guy who is 7'5", longest wingspan you'll ever see, for him to not to even be in the mid-range area, it tells me that he needs to get with a Tim Duncan, needs to get with a Kim Olajuwon to work on a post move. He doesn't have a post move. Let's just get that out the way. He does not have post moves. He plays like a guard, a 7'5" guard, right? Um, don't mind him shooting. If he shoots three threes, okay, cool. No, if he's trailing and he's in rhythm, all right. But in an offensive set, he needs to get that ball somewhere in the mid post range area because to have him beyond the 3-point line to try to create really helps the defense out. They know lengthwise they can't stop anything, but from the physical standpoint, they can get his body into him. Yeah. Um, and Wemby also missed two critical free throws in the fourth quarter. Um, but Miss Johnson, I don't know what he's doing, what he did in that game. Call a timeout. Call a timeout. All right. That's what you do. You call a timeout. You let the momentum get away from you, and it costs you the game. All right. Now, these guys, this is their first time going deep into the playoffs, so they're not as conditioned, but it doesn't matter. You're playing for the championship. All right. You're playing for the championship, so you gotta, you know, get your mind right for it. Speaking of let me go back to Fox real quick. He's supposed to be the veteran on the team, supposed to be the guy to settle everything down. But even with that steal, right? It was around what, 15 seconds or so left. It wasn't a steal, it was more like a rebound. He tipped the rebound and it was his, right? He went for the layup thinking nobody was behind him. All you had to do was just take more time off the clock, dribble the ball out. Dribble the ball out. You could took about 3 or 4 seconds more off the clock. They'll foul you. You go to the free throw line, knock down two free throws to where they would need a three to basically tie the game. All right. And you didn't do that. Again, decision making. Charles Barkley said this was, and I think Mike Wilbon too. They both said this was the dumbest stretch of basketball they've ever seen. And you have to agree. If you're a Spurs fan, you have to agree. You have to ask yourself, what are they doing? Why they keep jacking up shots? You on the 2-on-1 fast break. Why are you going to the 3-point line? Go to the basket. See, this is the problem with basketball today. They took away simple basketball for analytics. A 2-on-1 fast break means you go to the basket. You get a layup and you get a dunk. All right. You don't get a 2-on-1 fast break just to go behind the 3-point line and shoot a three. That's not smart basketball. You go to the rack. All right. Um, I don't know. And one possession really just threw me off. Um, when the Spurs, three shots, three offensive rebounds, and every single offensive rebound, they kicked it out to Wemby. He jacks up a three. Three straight 3-pointers. He shoots a three off offensive rebounds on one possession. Like, what are y'all doing? What's going on here? And the coach got to see this. You got to say to, all right, we're way out of sync. We got to regroup. All right. It's not that. Why are you not running your offense? Why are you not taking time off the clock? Shorten the game. You taking quick shots, which you didn't need to take quick shots. All right. So if you have a what, excuse me, if you're in your offensive set and you're getting the same looks, a wide open look for a three, I don't mind shooting it, but it's the quick shots that got the Knicks back into the game. All right. While you're missing your threes, they're coming down, shooting twos, and making their 2-point shots. All right. And as a coach, you got to see that. You got to stop the bleeding, and you did not do that. All right. Wemby, he looked tired. But guess what? We could say he's a top five player in the league, probably top three on what he can do. Does he have his flaws? Absolutely. Right? We all know what he needs to work on. We know as time goes on, he will get stronger. No doubt about it. But at 7'5", you have to play like you're 7'5", not 6'5". And that's how he's playing. All right. Um, he has to impose his will. Again, the series is not over yet. It's not over. Um, taking one game at a time. You win the next game, okay, you focus on game six, but focus on game five. But Wemby's going to have to play like a 7'5" big man, not a 6'5" guard. All right. I don't mind what they're doing on defense. Now, that last defensive possession, I get it. You want to get the ball out of Brunson's hand. But when you have the inbounding the ball, somebody has to account for him, and nobody accounted for him. So when he stepped in onto the court after he inbound the ball, he basically had a free lane to the basket for that tip, for the go ahead field goal. So it was just a lot of miscues by the Spurs. You got to blame the coach. You got to blame De'Aaron Fox. You got to blame Wemby. Um, they kept Castle in check. Um, in a sense, yeah, they kept him in check. Uh, that last play, I thought it was a great play design. Honestly, it was just that the pass itself was tipped by Cat, which was a great play on him, and you didn't throw it high enough for him to get it right. So it was a great play drawn up because he really had it. If you really look at it, if Cat didn't tip that pass, it was Castle was going to get it and probably dunk it. Um, but I know the Spurs are feeling down right now. Good thing they're going back home for game five. I think they will win game five again. I don't know about them beating the Knicks in game six, but anything can happen. Listen, this is sports. We know how it is when it comes to sports, so we don't know how this is going to turn out. But if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm really happy in the position where I'm at. If we don't finish in the San Antonio, which I think a lot of Knicks fans probably expect them not to finish it off in San Antonio, but if they come to New York, that's where they expect. They want it. Usually, if you're a fan of the home team and they have a chance to close it out on the home floor, you want them to come back and close it out on the home floor. That's usually how it is. Um, but at the same time, you want them to get it over with quickly. You don't want them to have any more chances. So my take on it is that De'Aaron Fox is going to have to be the floor general. Wemby is going to have to do his work inside that paint. He's just going to have to. He's going to have to do it mid range. You know, listen, nobody. Here's the thing: he could really shoot the ball, but he's starting his offense from the outside the 3-point line. No, if you get him in a position where he's in, the mid range area, he ain't really got to take a dribble. He could just elevate and shoot over anybody. Nobody going to block his shot. Nobody's going to block his shot. So I just feel like, and that's how you also waste energy too when you try to do all of that, dribbling, trying to get to a spot, trying to fight to get to the basket. You lose a lot of energy that way. So I just feel like for me, go back to the basics. You know, look at what you did in game three. It worked in game three. First, game four, and you can say game three too. You had a lot of positives throughout the series, but you got to sustain it and you got to play smarter basketball. The Knicks don't come out flat. The Knicks should not come out flat. Um, you should match that energy that the Spurs come out with. All right. Yes, you're the more experienced team in a sense, and you do have your defined roles on your team, but you should not always have to climb up the hill. You should be right there neck and neck with the Spurs, so you don't have to come back down, back from 29 to win, because that does take a lot out of you as well. Um, so yeah, that's just how I felt so far about the series. I will come back afterwards. The series is over and give you more of my feedback on the series so far. Also, too, I know a lot of people complain about the refs, this and that, but you know what? As long as they're consistent, I'm cool with it. I do like the physical play. I actually love when Wemby shoved Brunson. I like that part, right? I like when Mitchell Robinson forearm to Wemby's jaw. I like that. So I like the back and forth. And I'm gonna be honest with you. This just me. When this series is over, I hope whether it's next season or the season after that, we get these two teams back in the finals because this is must see TV. Um, I know a lot of people have been talking about the NBA and not excited about it. This is the time to be excited, right? These two teams, I hope this is a future rivalry in the works. Yes, I know Boston is going to be better next year. Yes, I know like the Thunder will be back. Um, Minnesota, Denver, teams like that, they'll be back. So it's going to be tough for either team next year. Since we haven't had um a back-to-back champion since the Warriors did it, you know, during their height of their dynasty. So I hope we get to see this matchup again within a season or two. That is my hope. But oh yeah, listen, as a coach, sometimes you got to know your players, and sometimes I know you got to have players that give other players breaks and all of that. But I'm gonna call out this player too for San Antonio, Keldon Johnson. Man, listen, dude, you gotta play better. You gotta play better. I don't know what it is. You gotta play better. All right. And for the Knicks, Mikal Bridges, you gotta play better. Yes, you up 3-1, but you gotta come out. Um, just like you did in game two, you got to come out in game five because listen, Brunson might be off and Anobi might be off. Cat probably be on, but they gonna need that second guy. And they gave up a lot to get you. So be that guy, step up. Um, so those are the two guys I'm calling out from both teams. I'm just so excited for game five. I'm excited to see um basketball. Um, who's going to execute, who's going to limit their mistakes. I'm like I said, I'm gonna sit back and really enjoy it. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the finals so far after 4 games. Let me know what your predictions moving forward. I know you still got a lot of people uh that have the Spurs in 7, which they're still on par for that. You got people who said the Knicks in 6, which you know that might be more of a reality than Spurs in 7, but um yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But again, if I'm the Spurs, you gotta own up to it. If I'm De'Aaron Fox, I gotta own up to it. You gotta go to your team and say, this is on me. All right. If he owns up to that and he gets back to really showing them, leading them, they'll be all right. I think. And for Brunson, Brunson's gonna lead his team. I think um, don't go back to the old ways how y'all used to play, 105 and all of that, especially like you did in game three. You got pieces around him, use them. Josh Hart, he found his rhythm, shooting the basketball. Cat, please stay out of foul trouble because we want to see you on the floor. We want to see you and Wemby going at it. And Anobi, man, I listen. To me, if you ask me who's been the best player, the most impressive player in this series, it's OG and Anobi. Hands down, to me, if they win, he has a 25 plus point game, whatever. I personally think that he should be finals MVP. Just my opinion. All right. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in with me tonight. Y'all let me know again, y'all predictions going on in this series. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this series. Um, and also too, let me know what drinks I should try. Let me know what's out there. I'll see if we got it in my hometown and I'll go try it out. Maybe talk about it on the podcast one day. Who knows? All right. Also, make sure follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Hit that subscribe. Make sure you tell your friends and family about it. Also, you can listen to it on uh, Spotify, excuse me, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, uh, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find it there. All right. Till next time, I'm Darius from Drinking After Dark podcast, and we out. Peace.